last year, but she hasn't raced since. And this for the European and Olympic champion, who served her apprenticeship. Remember, she was twice second in the World Championships before Paris last year. She was second in the Olympics in Tokyo back in 2021. Well, she is now world #1 as of last year. But here she is, Keely Hodgkinson, still only 23 years old. Wigan-born lass, spends most of the year training up in Manchester under her coaches Trevor Painter and Jenny Meadows. And her hamstring injuries, well, those we hear are behind her. She has 6 weeks of hard training behind her in spikes, twice a week apparently, Trevor was saying yesterday. And on Saturday she did the last hard session we hear. And that session, Trevor says, was so good he thinks she's in close to world record form. That world record, remember, by Jarmila Kratochvilova of Czechoslovakia as it was then, back in Munich in July 1983, 153.28. But this is a strong field. Wilgosz for Poland, bronze medalist in European Championships back in 2022. She was 6th last year in Rome. She goes in 5. Claudia Hollingsworth of Australia, silver medalist in the World Juniors last year. She shares lane 4 with Claudia Lieberman. Orotila Nove, now she could be a real danger. 5 national records, the Botswanan this year. World #7, I think she could be a threat. Those 5 national records coming between March and June. She has had a long year, but sub-2 in her last 9 races, Nove of Botswana. Kosanova of Poland goes in 2. She shares that with Abby Caldwell of Australia, the Commonwealth bronze medalist at 1,500 metres. And Katrina Bissett, 5th in the Commonwealth Games back in 2022, goes on the inside. So Keely Hodgkinson, this such a significant moment. Hodgkinson second from right, she's out in lane 8. She can, at her best, destroy fields of this caliber with consummate ease. But this is a hugely significant moment for her. A return to racing for the Olympic champion. Nerves are plenty, of course, in her camp and all over Great Britain as the audience watches the British darling of those Paris Games come towards 200 metres, and the pacemaker, Lysander Witter, a good 400-metre runner, takes them through there at a nice, steady tempo. And good to see Chris Keely Hodgkinson move into 2nd place, leading the pack. The rest of them dancing to her tune at the moment. Sana is there as well, the Pole, who was a European Championship finalist last year, in 3rd place. But with the 300 metres done, good so far.
So far, so good for Keely Hodgkinson, looking for a split of around 56, maybe just outside 58.30, her Olympic final split. Here it comes, 56.09, almost spot on.
That is quick, that is very quick. Hodgkinson being tested here. There is such a difference, though, between training well and racing well. And Hodgkinson now will begin to hear those questions in the back of her mind as the pacemaker drops aside. Odera in 2nd place. Nove, who I thought would be one of the dangers, the Botswanan in 3rd place. But Hodgkinson steaming away. 200 metres to run. She's got about a 4-metre lead. Hodgkinson from Odera and Nove. The gap is growing. 85 seconds at 400. She's done that last 200 around 29 seconds, and she's still going well. Watch the clock, because Hodgkinson here could smash the world best for this year. 156.6 by Daguma of Ethiopia. The gap is 6 metres, and Hodgkinson begins to ease away yet further. It's 7 metres now. The rest of them trying desperately to go with her, but it's 10, 12 metres as she gets to the line. Watch the clock. 154.75. She is back with a massive bang here in the Silesia Stadium. Massive size of a leaping breed all around Manchester, around Great Britain, around the world of those who love middle distance racing. And Keely Hodgkinson comes back in emphatic style, a time that nobody else in the world has run for several years, in her first race in 376 days. They say class is permanent, and my word, is that the case for this young lady.
Well, isn't it great to see her back, Tim? And what a way. That was a statement run. All the nerves, all the anxiety. What would happen? The relief you can see is palpable. And the icing on the cake surely is the world lead, the time. Many people felt she should just run today as if it were a semi-final at a major championship. She'd done more than that. She's blown it apart. And actually, after that Olympic final, Tim, last year, nobody ran quicker than her for the rest of 2024, and nobody had run quicker until today in 2025. She's back, and she has a world lead.
You know what is so reassuring, Chris, too, is that I thought that part of the race where questions might really be asked and she might struggle to answer, having been away from racing so long, was that last 150. That's when the legs so often start becoming heavy. You start running in treacle and it becomes very, very tough. And I thought those behind her, with plenty of races under their belts this year, might start closing on her. But that was not the case. Over the last 50, 60 metres, she drew further and further away. And if anybody wants to know whether Keely Hodgkinson is back in shape,